Reverend Dr. Kolawole Ojo, it's a privilege to welcome you into this studio. Welcome, sir.
It is a honor to be here too.
All right. This is our nation. On Pertinent Questions, we want to look at primary education, primary school education, as the bedrock of education in our country. Everywhere, foundation must be from the primary level. As I welcome you to this program, I want to ask very pertinent questions, because the program is called Pertinent Questions. The first question I will ask, what is, in simple terms, the definition of education?
Education is the process of learning and teaching in schools, colleges, and universities.
The process.
It is the process of learning. It is the act of acquiring skills, positions of skills and knowledge that will build the future generation.
Okay. Now, there are many stakeholders, am I right, in the education?
Yes.
Which of the stakeholders is the centerpiece of education?
It's a child.
Mm-hmm.
We have the parents, we have the teachers, we have the child.
Mm-hmm.
And the child, the educational system must be child-centered.
Are we doing that very seriously in our country?
When we want to consider that, we have to consider a lot of factors. For educational system to be effective, there are so many things to be put in place.
Let's hear some of them.
When those things are not in place, then the educational system is faulty. Some of those things that need to be put in place has to do with good infrastructure to make effective learning take place. The educational learning must be conducted in a very conducive place, a serene atmosphere that is conducive to learning must be there. All facilities must be on ground. The students or pupils must be able to sit down comfortably and learn under a conducive atmosphere. Where that is not available, there's going to be fault. In Nigeria educational system today, some of these facilities are not there. Some schools are not well roofed. In some schools, we have students sitting on ground, learning. Learning cannot be effective in that kind of atmosphere. And then teachers must be there. Teachers, well-trained teachers, must be on ground. Like in those days, we passed through teacher training college, where we are taught you do teaching practice. You are the federal government invested a lot and trained teachers for primary education. Like myself, I attended Divisional Teacher Training College in Rua, where I was taught how to teach primary school students only. And then immediately after graduation, you are posted out to teach. So you have practiced, you have done teaching practice for three solid sections, after which you are now posted out to go and teach. So these are the things. There will be effectiveness in the teaching of such teachers. But where we have teachers that are not trained in the classroom teaching, there will not be effective learning.
As a proprietor of a school and someone who has been in the educational system for many years, have we done well? I admit you have said certain things were not there, conducive learning space and things like that. That arm of our education, primary school, is supposed to be the foundation. Have we, as a nation, really come to terms with that reality?
Really, the focus of the educational system of a country should be, the primary education should be given priority because it is the foundation. And if the foundation is faulty, all other systems will be faulty. So, but in Nigeria, really, now that the teacher training is not there again, where the primary focus of the government is to train teachers for that primary education, where it is not there again. I think there are certain faults now. Except you go into the university to study primary education, you don't acquire that kind of skills we acquire in those days in the teacher training. So the government should put priority to the primary education, train teachers even to that area, in that area. Teachers who will go and teach in the primary school, teachers we have early in the at the University of Ibadan, we have the Department of Early Childhood Education, established by Professor Adedeji Awoniyi. So this kind of and how many people are going there? How many people are studying there? So now that the teacher training is not there again, we only have NC. NC meant for junior secondary education.
It's only recently. It used to be for even senior secondary.
You can see.
For secondary school education.
For secondary school education. So where is the arm of the primary school education? We are not getting quality teachers with primary school orientation, focus.
Over the years, there have been professors who have come, the Fafunwas of this world. They have all come as ministers of education. Now, this point you have raised, there are no special attraction for teachers whose responsibility will be only for primary education. It means we have bungled things, haven't we?
Really? That is what we are experiencing. Really, and it's one of those.
The man or woman who teaches secondary school doesn't belong to the early education class. At secondary school, the boy or girl is already outside the formative years.
Yes.
So, why do you think successive governments, have continued to maintain this unprofitable, as it were, system of wishing away or clearing out of sight all the foundational institutions that should have helped primary education, namely the colleges, the teacher training
colleges. The educational policy makers, their focus has not been primarily on the primary schools. Okay. I think the stakeholders should sit down and give priority to primary school education, which will help us to build the foundation, the future of our generation.
The way things are going, do you see any at the national or state level, any state government, any federal government wanting to go back to primary education? For 65 years now, we have continued to do policy somersault. And today, as you rightly said, the training colleges are no longer there. The vocational institutes are no longer there. What kind of, is this not to an elitist system?
The educational system of the country, the policy makers, the ministers, you see, where we have problem is when you recruit somebody who is not an educationist to be the minister of state, to be the federal minister of education. When somebody who is not an educationist is a special advisor to the governor on educational matters, there will be problem. This is where we have problem. And this is what is responsible for these policies that are not favoring primary education in Nigeria.
So it means we have not handled, the fault is not in our stars, it's in ourselves.
It's in ourselves.
What can we do to avoid this? What as a seasoned educationist, what would you suggest that we must we go back to the drawing board? Must we go back to the days of old? Must we go back to the things we have rejected?
We should bring back teacher training college. Bring it back in Nigeria and train students and train teachers who will be specially sent to primary schools to teach. There should be manpower for the primary educational system. This will help us to rebuild this falling standard in primary education in Nigeria.
You talk about falling standard. Some people will argue with you and say standards have not fallen. Are they right?
We go to schools now. We have what we have. We have is glaring. School start orders. Some cannot write clearly. Some cannot. Some cannot construct simple and correct sentences. These are problems we are facing in the country, and it starts right away from primary schools. Yeah. In those days, people with ordinary standard Cs, you can't compare them with people with WAEC now. They are incomparable, and this is because the standard has fallen. And this is what is responsible for examination malpractices here and there. Because when the standard is not there, people will look for loopholes to pass exams.
The introduction of UBEC, it appeared, was supposed to center, that was federal government's idea of focusing on primary education. Has it been successful?
It has been successful to a certain level, but they still need to improve on some areas where they have lapses.
Would you like to point some of them out?
Some of the areas, like we need quality monitoring, monitoring of schools. In the area of monitoring of schools, and not only concerned with public schools, but also private schools. The private schools are also there. The private school government should not only be concerned about collecting money from private school holders, school owners alone, but also giving them quality and giving them qualitative seminars and so on like that, contributing to their growth.
So, if I got you very well, the government's interest in private school system is just to collect money from them. They don't give you any input, do they?
They give us input, but it's not enough.
Now, tell us some of the... How often do they come to supervise you, to inspect you and supervise and things like that? These things are all very important.
They come to supervise, especially when you want to register with them.
Okay.
If you are a new school, you want to register with the government, they come to supervise. They come to supervise during exams too. If you are writing exam, they come to supervise during exam. And sometimes they organize seminars for us too, and ask us to participate. But that's the only what we take from them.
Participate? Do they sponsor you?
They don't sponsor us.
Or you have
we always sponsor ourselves. They have not been sponsoring us.
Okay.
We sponsor ourselves. We pay.
Yeah.
And then we attend. And then, which in the public schools they don't pay.
Yeah.
We have to pay everything. We have to pay. So which should not be really. Sometimes what we pay, sometimes they are overtaxing us. Sometimes what they ask us to pay is above board.
Okay.
Sometimes, and in taxation, in taxation where the tax is more than what is not affordable, people will be looking for loopholes of evading tax. Government should make it affordable.
I see your point. You are being very deliberately and intentionally selective in your choice, but we can understand you. So government needs to do much better than it is doing in terms of the return process. Communication is a return process. You pay, you do everything. Government must also find a way of helping you to build your teachers up. Why do you think that this has not been? Is it part of the corrupt system we complain about in Nigeria? Why has government been only interested in taking from you and not giving commensurately back to the private system for education? Why do you think it's so?
They don't see us as contributing to the educational system of the country. They see us as only people who are there, businessmen who are only there to make money. But really, it's not profit. School business is not only profit-oriented. Sometimes it's like a ministry. And sometimes you don't even make money. Sometimes you have to put in everything. You have to put in a lot of things. You have to build it for years. It's a lifetime program. So government should not.
Period.
Government should not see it as if you are just a businessman going there to make money. It's not only money, not only profit-oriented program. It's a ministry itself.
Well, that's a very strong one for government. That government must not see education, particularly private school education, as money making.
No,
but as a ministry, supporting government to actually educate the masses. When a short while ago you were mentioning the stakeholders, what is the role? You did mention government or teachers, you mentioned parents. What has been your experience so far? You have spoken about government, who are the proprietors of all public schools. What has been the role of parents?
The role of the parents cannot be overemphasized. Parents has a lot to do.
Are they doing it?
They are on many occasions, some parents are not doing it. Some are really doing it. But majority of parents are not doing it. Sometimes you see students going to school, not well dressed. Sometimes you see students going to school,
empty
stomach. So how can somebody who is you see them during break, some will even come to school with gari to drink during break. People now don't take, some of them don't take the breakfast before leaving home. How would they respond to learning? So, and some of the uniforms tattered. In situations like that, it makes them to be inferior within their colleagues. So parents have a lot to do. Some don't buy textbooks. Some even lack stationaries. So where we have that, some don't even have pen. You see them borrowing pen all around from their colleagues. So this should not be the case. Parents should endeavor to provide all learning materials for their children.
But is it 100% the parents' fault? We are going through a very difficult economic circumstance. It's been so over the years. This scenario you have painted has been on with our children for donkey years. Find some of them not having biros. 10 years ago, some of them did not have biros. Some of them did not have textbooks. Some of them did not have stationery. The system continues. How can we checkmate this?
Government should make policy that will make things be easy for people. Government should try as much as possible to come in to reduce this galloping inflation we are experiencing in the country. Things are too expensive.
Then, in that case,
and so it is difficult even to feed children at home. Talk less of providing for educational material. So it's difficult for people. But notwithstanding, the educational concern of the children should not be left behind.
Okay. Teachers also, because you give me those factors, parents, government, teachers, the child, student. What role must our teachers very serious, very up and doing in schools today? As you and I went through, we belong to the same generation. We went to school, and we had teachers who were committed. Our school teachers, particularly in the primary school today, are they as committed as those who trained you?
Teachers nowadays are not as committed as those who train us. That is the truth. I want to advise teachers. I want to advise teachers to be more committed to their job. It is important because they are building the future generation. So they should be committed. Teachers should prepare for their work. That's why we write note of lessons. When you like we were taught, when you leave the school, you get home, you sit down to prepare for the next day's work. You write your note of lesson, you give it to the headmaster, who will sign it, who will go through it and endorse it. Teachers should learn to prepare for their lessons. Not only that, teachers should be committed to their duty. If you don't see a child in the school today, phone the parents if possible. Teachers should be well dressed because they are exhibiting examples. They are the role model for the students. Teachers must be well dressed. Teachers should not just play just anyhow. They should not eat the children's food. Even if it is so tantalizing. So
yeah, I mean that's a very interesting point you have raised. You see, we operate in school, and he gets tantalized by a rich boy's food. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but we are looking at the society holistically. The challenges are very many, but very importantly, as Reverend Doctor has said, the teacher must be very careful not to be. He must discourage himself from wanting to take a bite of the students' food. You degrade yourself even in doing that.
Doing that, yes.
Degrade yourself. I think it is about a convenient spot.
And those who go to parents' home to teach and go home.
Okay.
Don't after teaching the children sit down and begin to watch television there.
Okay.
To degrade yourself.
That's very important. It's a convenient spot to bring up a break. I have been discussing education, primary school as the bedrock of education in Nigeria. And I have with me a proprietor of a group of schools, Reverend Dr. Kolawole Ojo. We will be back for the second part of this presentation. Please don't go away.
Dramatist, playwright, and icon of Yoruba thematic arts, Duro Ladipo was born December 18, 1931 in Osogbo, southwest Nigeria. His clergyman father christened him Timothy. His other names, Duro Dola, Duro Shomo, Duro Rike, reflected his persona and the circumstances that surrounded his birth. The legendary stage actor had in several public fora identified himself as one of the greatest abikus born to die in this world. Family records reveal how he was born and died 13 times. The intertwining names he bore thus lent credence to his spiritism. Duro Ladipo was one of the best known and world-acclaimed Yoruba dramatists to emerge from post-colonial Africa. His notable works, Obakoso, Obawaja, and Moremi, took him beyond Africa to several parts of the world. By the time Duro Ladipo died on 11 March 1978, the Nigeria's first cultural ambassador had acquired a towering image as an artist whose works adorned the frontage of Trenchard Hall, University of Ibadan. Western Spring Television identifies Duro Ladipo as a major character in history.
Welcome back to the program. Pertinent question. This afternoon we are discussing the bedrock of education, primary school. In the studio with me is Reverend Dr. SIMEON Kolawole Ojo. He is the proprietor of the group of schools, the Rising Group of Schools. Welcome back, sir.
It is well with you, sir.
Amen. Your schools are in Okene.
Yes, sir.
You have one in Ibadan. You have another one
at Ede.
So you have 3 group of schools.
Yes, sir.
When we discuss the effectiveness of primary school education, what should we have in mind? In a discussion, we are talking about primary school education being the bedrock of education. What must we have in mind?
What we must have in mind is the children that we are going to teach, and the future and their future. Their future must be in our mind. What do they want? What do we want them to be? How do we build them to become? How do we lead them to become what they should be? How do they fulfill their destiny? That should be our focus
as teachers. In contemporary times, do we have teachers who have all this in mind? Do we, even in both government and private schools, we come to you as a private school proprietor, do we have men and women who are ready to observe these things that you have said, having the children's future in mind?
They don't. They take it as business. It's not a business.
But what is it?
Teaching is not a business. Teaching is a ministry. It's a calling.
Yeah, but the calling, people who go into ministry are usually called. In teaching, they don't call them. they take up an appointment. Some of them don't go near, they don't come near being good teachers at all. Yet they are in the system, both government and private.
Of recent, sir, the student that passed through my school at a day, they invited me last year on the 26th of December last year for an award. So many of them were there. They place a fine screen there, big screen there, and students all over the world were showcasing themselves one by one, and telling us a lot of things, reminding us of all that happened in the schools in our school when they were there.
Okay, your former students.
My former students. So some of them even took care of their teachers. They gave us gifts and a lot of other things. These are the things that teachers should put in mind when teaching, that we don't know what the future holds. I was my father in the Lord, he was in the plane traveling out, and one of the pilot just said, "Are you Reverend Dr. S.T. Olakande?"
Okay. The
man said, yes, the late Reverend Dr. Olakande of Nigerian Baptist Convention. He said, "I am, of course I am." He said, "You taught me at Igbobi College. I am your pilot today."
Interesting.
And he returned his flight ticket. So the teaching is not something it's not just like going to mechanic to help you repair your car. It's not like that. It's molding life, and it's like you are also investing in yourself.
Yeah.
You just should see it as if not only you are doing it just like that, it's an investment. Look at Adeleke University. Many of those that taught the chairman of the university, the chairman rewarded them bountifully. So it's a life investment.
This message must go to government too. Government schools. Adeleke University is a private institution. I want to suggest that some of these messages you are preaching here must be government-centered too, so that the government must also look at it. You can do so much for these teachers who are doing fine and getting results, and molding and remolding our children who are all the future that we have as a nation. Well, I come to you, the private schools owners. The belief, I will not just say the thinking, the belief is that you private educationists who run private schools, you are too exploitative. You task and task and task. Your school fees are high. Sometimes you do things that parents cannot. Sometimes some of you will say, okay, 3 uniforms in a week, etc., etc. These things are challenging to parents. What's your comment on that? That you are very exploitative.
Any proprietor who is really caught into that business will never be exploitative.
How? But
this is because though what surrounds schools these days sometimes may demand that you charge a little higher than before, is because of the cost. You know, a bag of cement, what it costs now. To build a school, to build just a block of 4 classrooms, you know what it costs? It costs millions. Iron sheet now, what it costs, and so on like that, and so on like that.
But some of your schools the buildings have been erected long time ago.
But you still have to maintain it, and then you still have to erect more. To have ICT facility in school, it takes a lot of money. So they are not exploitative as people may see it, but because of the cost of the maintenance and the cost of, acquiring more facilities relevant to educational learning.
What makes your overall cost so high? Is the government not coming to your assistance one way or the other?
The government is not coming to our assistance in any way. The government will still take money. Sometimes we have to apart from the normal registration, you pay renewal every year. And sometimes these renewals are so high, and then sometimes above board. So the government should look into it and make things easy for private owners.
What would you want to suggest? Would you want to say the annual renewal must be? What exactly do you want to? Do you want it to be phased out maybe 2 years instead of one year? Will that help you? Can that go as an appeal on behalf of all the?
It should just be reduced to something that the school owners will be able to afford, especially developing schools. Developed schools and developing schools, they are paying the same thing. They are paying the same thing. Okay. Developing school and developed school, they are paying the same thing. And some developing school, before they can get it, some of them will sweat. So government should look into it and make and soft pedal.
Yeah, but government also has must bring in to the till so much money from everywhere. Government depends on taxation and things like that. So it should be. But I'm looking at. I want you to suggest.
Government should see us as also, people contributing to
the development
of the country.
Yeah, but maybe government has come to terms with the reality that your private schools are very exploitative. You exploit the parents. I mentioned something. What are you doing with 3 uniforms in a week, 5 days? Some of you, they go to school on Monday with a different uniform. On Wednesday they go. On Friday they go. What parents are suffering? They complain about things like that.
Myself and you, sir, you can't come here tomorrow with this dress.
Yes.
If you wear this dress today, wear it tomorrow, wear it till Friday, people will say, But sometimes we cheat children. Some parents, if they don't introduce different uniforms like that, some children are having only one, and they wear the same one from Monday till Friday.
You and I'm not saying there shouldn't be an improvement, but our generation, we went through our khaki 5 times a week in the same khaki. I am not suggesting that it should be so. But if you must have, why must it be 3 uniforms? Why don't you bring it down to 2 and let he wears one between Monday and Wednesday and the other between Thursday?
They are not the same. Sometimes they put on sportwear.
Yes, I mean, you see, this is the exploitative tendency people are complaining about.
No, in those days too, we used to wear sportswear.
Sportswear, yes.
Sometimes it may be under.
Yes. I agree.
And then you go to so these days sometimes they put on sportswear on sport days.
It is.
So it's not a uniform. It's also.
It's a uniform. It's not what the school allows.
It's not. It has its own purpose. It's not that they just use it anyhow like that.
Yeah, you have a point in saying, "Oh, today you don't have to wear the same uniform." But you and I, when we went to school, our khaki uniform was from Monday to Friday. In the evening of Wednesdays, if you belong to a very elitist, you have elitist parents, they will wash it for you. And Thursday morning, you go in a cleaner uniform. We are saying this not because the idea is bad, but the idea is exploiting the parents a little bit.
It's not exploiting the parents. Is the wear for their children. what is exploitative there is not exploitative. It is the dress of their children. And sometimes school don't make any profit from it. Sometimes school don't make profit from it.
Nobody will believe you.
So
nobody will believe you.
But really, what we want is some children will not wash it. Some parents don't even have time to wash those uniforms for them. So if they don't have different types of uniform, they will use the same one from Monday to Friday.
Yes. I'm not saying we should go back to the 1950s and 60s that we used to wear the same uniform. But there must be, okay, let's come to books. If you are defending so rigidly that the uniforms are for the children and not for the school. Books. There's also the complaint that private schools have managed to rejig their system so much so that children cannot use the same book. Siblings, 2 years old difference, class primary 4, primary 3. His younger brother or sister coming 2 years or even sometimes 1 year behind him cannot use the same book. Why have we come to such a level of exploitation?
Really, like in my own schools, we don't change books just like that.
Some do change in private schools here.
You cannot be changing textbooks every season. It's not, or every section. It's not done. Where it is done, it may make it difficult for parents to purchase. So it's not always good to change textbook every session. It's not always good. At least private school owners should be enjoyed to always reduce the issue of changing books every session, so that their siblings can always
inherit as it were. Okay.
And sometimes even the junior will always go to the senior to borrow. Like in my schools, we use NOSEC English and New General Mathematics, and that's what we have been using all the while. So it's easy for the junior to always go to the senior to say, please, let me use your book. Except on some occasion where the books are reviewed too. Where we have another edition, the 4th edition, move to the 5th edition. In such a case, they will have to buy new ones.
This question too is very important. It's a national issue now. Official prevention of young candidates under 16 from enrolling as freshmen in universities. If you are not 16 years old, you can't go to the university. It's a policy. Does it go down well with schools under your private, where sometimes you promote children to give them double promotion? That this policy, does it not negate your favorite policy of giving children double promotion? So that at the age of 9, a child would maybe have completed primary 5 and will be looking forward to entering secondary school. He gets there at the end at 15, he writes his exam, he passes, and he cannot go. Cannot attend any university. What is your take on this? Is it a good policy? If it is not good, is it also not, as a policy, not denying the very students who are who are special students? Yes.
We have special students in schools, but sometimes we have to look at it from both sides. Sometimes when we talk about intelligent quotients, intelligent quotients has to do with the chronological age upon the mental age multiplied by 100/1. So in considering IQ, the chronological age is also important. And where the chronological age, where is too low. Students can be deficient in abstract thinking, works in sums involving abstract thinking. Students can be deficient there. So it affects, we have to look at it from both sides, not only from the side of, very special students. Though we have some special students. Gifted. So this policy, it will affect really the gifted ones.
I have a girl who came on to my program on radio. She's only 14, and when JAM came, she was in the 300 category mark. She had her 6-7 credits but she can't go to university now because she hasn't come up to 16. It might even take her 1.5 years to get to that.
A child in our school sometimes ago was to be registered for JAM. And at the JAM office, she was not qualified. She was disqualified just only because of 3 months. She was underage for only 3 months. And she wept bitterly. So government should look into that. But at the same time, too, we should consider students that are not matured, too.
Yeah, then we must also appeal to you, private schools. Stop this idea of giving children double promotion.
And parents too.
Yes.
Parents too.
Who want to quicken up
the pace of their children. To also.
So that's all. On that note, I would like to draw the curtains on today's edition of Pertinent Question. We have been looking at primary school as bedrock of education in our country. And from what the Reverend Dr. Kolawole Ojo has said, the government has a role to play, school proprietors have a role to play, parents have roles to play, and the student. The student is the center of every educational process. We must be focused on that and give them the very best. And as the Reverend Minister has said, we must invest in these children so that they can become better versions of Nigerians that we have not been able to. I'd like to thank you very much, Reverend Dr.
It is well with you,
Ojo, for coming. Thank you for... To the viewer at home, I am Adeto Isheshitu Alamo. This is about a convenient spot to say thank you. May we all begin to see the essence of each and every one of us contributing to the education of our children, our wards, so that they can become better Nigerians, much better than we are. We see you next week. Goodbye for now. Thank you.